When the Ford Focus was first introduced to the market in the late 1990s, it was an instant success, gobbling up market share and setting new standards for design, practicality and handling. Fast forward to today and it faces much tougher competition. But let's see whether the latest Focus has still got what it takes to capture the C-segment crown. So welcome to the all-new Ford Focus, a car that's actually really important for Ford in Europe. It's a real bread and butter model in terms of sales. And bringing an all-new car obviously brings lots of benefits, new technologies, and being able to hopefully leapfrog any competition that's caught up over the years. But also it's a bit of a risk messing with a recipe that's so well known and loved. You know, this car is consistently in the top sellers, particularly in the UK. But I'm pleased to report, looking at the car externally, it's still recognisably a Focus. Yes, it's been tuned up a bit for the modern day, but you've still got that recognisably bulbous front end, the large Aston Martin inspired grille that we've come to know as the Ford family face, and that quite stout rear hatchback end. People still look at this car and go, yeah, that's a Ford Focus. This particular car is the ST line, and it means it comes with a few sporty attributes, notably those sort of graphite coloured 17-inch alloy wheels, which gives it quite a nice sporting stature. You get reworked and more athletic front and rear bumpers, you get a dual exhaust tailpipe and a new boot spoiler. It looks good, it's inoffensive enough to appeal to a broad spectrum, but also not so subtle that you'd lose it in a car park. Good, so aesthetically pleasing, tick. What about the inside? Well, it's a family car at the end of the day, so practicality is a big thing here. Inside, I'm pleased to report there is plenty of space for everybody, particularly in the back where there's really gracious levels of head and legroom. All shapes and sizes will fit in the back. The middle passenger even having a reduced transmission hump there, meaning there's space for their feet, which is actually quite a rarity in the hatchback segment. The boot is a generous 375 litres, which whilst not the biggest in its class, it's certainly sizable enough, and it has a nice wide opening for you to be able to fit bulkier items in there easily. Up front, you certainly notice the ST line trinkets that you get in this model, things such as the red stitching that really serves as a nice accent around the cabin. You get this nice chrome-topped gear lever, metal pedals, stuff like the 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system is all there and ready for you. Now this system is the latest version of Sync 3 and it's really slick and easy to use on the move. The buttons are nice and big, the graphics are crisp, and I have to say ergonomically it's really sound and a big step forward from what was in the previous Focus. So what about how it drives? Because a really good handling chassis has always been a big component of the Ford Focus, and while I think the Blue Oval's really excelled itself here, this chassis is really good fun. I mean, under the bonnet of this car is the 123 horsepower 1 litre Ecoboost engine, which is really nice, smooth, linear power delivery, particularly above 2000 RPM. That turbo comes on song and there's 200 Newton meters of torque there to really push you on. Not lightning fast, 0 to 62 in about 10 seconds, top speed of about 124 miles per hour. But the lightweight nature of the engine in the nose means that it complements this chassis perfectly. You've got the torque to pull you out of corners, but just before then, as you pitch yourself in, there's not a lot of weight in the front of the car. It's got a really positive front end, beautifully weighted and really nicely accurate steering. Okay, you know, it's the repeatable phrase that we say about all new cars these days. There could be a bit more feedback coming through to the driver, but it feels playful. You can feel it, particularly on the brakes into the corner. You can feel the back end go a little light as the weight transfers. It's really linear, it's predictable, and yeah, it's one of those cars that actually you can have a bit of fun with after you've dropped the kids off to school. You can really grab this engine by the scruff of the neck using this, you know, delightfully slick 6-speed manual transmission. There's really positive motion to each throw there. And yeah, it's a little bit of a giggle actually whenever you start trying to drive it on its door handles through some country B roads. The ride in general is really good. The ST line has a sportier suspension setup to the car, which actually, because of the higher profile nature of the tyres here, you don't have silly sized alloy wheels. The ride doesn't suffer as a result, but you also gain really good stability and reduced body roll through the corners as a result. Yeah, this is probably the best handling car in its class, full stop. Ford have regained that crown without a question or shadow of a doubt, and it's something that's accentuated further in the new Ford Focus ST. Now, if you look around the automotive world at the moment, it appears the day of the bargain is long gone. Cars are expensive things to buy, and this car as it stands is £22,145, which is no small amount of money. My gripe isn't so much the actual cost of the car, it's the fact that ST line is sort of a mid-level trim these days, and it comes with the sporty trinkets and this, that and the other, but it seems to be missing some really crucial things that other competitors offer as standard. Okay, rear visibility is fantastic in this car and definitely deserves a lot of praise because it's a rarity these days. But there's no reversing camera. You have to pay another few £100s for that. You have to pay another few £100s for navigation. This is an ST line, and I feel that those sort of things should be offered as standard. And whenever you start making the value for money comparison between, say, a 1 litre Honda Civic that comes absolutely packed with equipment, the ST line starts to come undone a little bit in terms of its value for money. What Ford have produced in the latest generation Ford Focus is nothing short of a contender for class leadership outright. It is a fantastic car that offers great practicality, really fun driving dynamics, and looks smart enough that your mother-in-law will approve. Competition in this class is incredibly tough these days, not only from other C-segment hatchbacks, but from more fashionable SUVs too. And the Focus, it acquits itself really well.